Loneliness is the poverty of self. Solitude is the richness of self. May Sarton. Why do we fear the idea of physically sitting alone? Whether that's eating alone at lunch, sitting by yourself on a park bench, or simply taking yourself on an adventure to the mall, museum, or alternate public place. The anxiety we feel surrounding the situation is real and initially valid. However, in the midst of tackling any obstacle, we have to take it apart, piece by piece. In the physical sense, there is a difference between finding solitude and feeling lonely. They are both choices we make when given the opportunity of being alone in a certain location. Figuratively alone, however, is a much more complex and powerful idea. We are never truly by ourselves in life's battles because we have a divine leader who can give us direction. Today, we will talk about 3 truths about the strength of standing alone and how we can reshape our perspective on loneliness. Number 1. Physical remoteness does not equal an on-stage performance. Why do we give our opportunities for peaceful moments of seclusion, whether or not it happened voluntarily, the power to go awry? Often, we give in to the tempting thoughts of perceiving silent, targeted criticism performed by others. A term in psychology called imaginary audience is a belief that everyone else is looking at you, judging and watching you. While this does stem from self-consciousness, we must break out of this mindset and free ourselves from this notion because it shackles us. We aren't on stage with bright lights shining on us. We have our own choices to make and have the potential to shine our light. Through the natural observations of others, we can objectively see that everyone is living their own lives. How often do you spend your time fixating on what others are doing in public? The occasional remark about an interesting outfit, sure, all right, but are you intently staring at people, watching, and judging? No, of course not. And 99.99% of the population, I'd bet, is focusing on their own life, not paying attention to the minute details of others' personal occurrences. Additionally, you never can tell what someone is exactly going through. Although there are universal expressions and emotions, trying to guess one's feelings can still be misconstrued. The fact is that we must not let others indirectly alter the choices we make. We can't give in to that sort of pressure because it leads to conformity, a lack of self-respect, and a slow metamorphosis into a scared sheep. You don't have to be a sheep. You can be a strong, strategic wolf. In acknowledging this, we must choose the people we surround ourselves with wisely. A quote by George Washington says, "It is far better to be alone than to be in bad company." This sentiment is often very true, due to the fact that we are slowly influenced by those whom we constantly associate with. Take a look at those whom you spend your time with, and remember, the key word, spend. I think you owe it to yourself to surround yourself with those who make you a better person. I'm not supporting the intentional isolation from those who differ from you in beliefs, morals, and interests, but choose your close friends wisely. While you aren't performing for others, you can still choose the main actors of your show. Cast them well. Don't go solo. Life isn't meant to be a monologue. Number 2, productivity in the one-on-one. Rather than sitting in sadness, mourning the fact that we are seemingly alone in our emotional isolation, why not use that energy for good? This is one positive aspect of pain. It can be morphed into strength and productivity. In these times of being physically alone, we should accept the offer of opportunity, the potential to create. However, it is also enticing to sit tuning out the world by listening to music or binge watching shows all day. I love both, and it's so easy for me to use up my day's time doing so. I've personally found that when I take a break from a constant stream of media like music, I'm able to regulate my dopamine intake, have a greater level of self-control, and I am more productive. Another benefit is being able to enjoy a song or an artist for longer because I'm not constantly listening to it. I balance my free time by sometimes finding the beauty in sitting alone in silence. I remember when I was in my early years of elementary school, there was a time when I would sit by the wall and color. I liked being by myself, and during that time, I felt like strengthening my imagination and abilities. What was interesting was, about a week later, people took notice. Random kids my age would flock over, surrounding me, asking to color a specific section of a potato. A takeaway from this experience is the importance of comfortability and independence, as well as self-efficacy in adolescence. Furthermore, people often take notice of the peculiarities around them, and often they are magnetized to those whose light is readily shining. This touches on another point. People in life may want to take advantage of you and get you to say yes to their every demand. In these instances, however, we must find the strength to say no if we don't want to. We don't have to go to the party if we're absolutely burnt out from work. We can rest and appreciate alone time. There must be balance, however. Socialization is key in growth, but the thing to remember is to use every second of your time wisely, alone or with others. Number 3, never alone in our convictions. The fear of speaking truth, one's opinions, or simple small talk in conversations is apparent in society. This moment of figurative paralyzation of our vocal cords right when it's our turn up to bat is real, but can absolutely be overcome with determination and practice. It takes effort to find our voice, as well as knowing what you believe in. It takes courage to continue down the path of perseverance and not care when others criticize you when they disagree with you. Bradley R. Wilcox said, "When you look around on this cruise ship called Earth, you might see other people sitting in lounge chairs, drinking, gambling in casinos, wearing clothing that is too revealing, scrolling endlessly on cell phones, and wasting too much time playing electronic games. But instead of wondering, why can't I do that? You can remember that you are not an ordinary passenger. You are a member of the crew. You have responsibilities that passengers do not have. As Sister Ardith Cap once said, you can't be a lifeguard if you look like all the other swimmers on the beach." As we are each a lifeguard in our own life, discouragements of standing in solitude may arise. Feeling as if you're too different or you don't fit in is prevalent in the adversary's ways, but not at all truthful. Please remember that you are never truly alone. Think of it as the folly of our limited perspectives. I remember I was in public, some sort of social gathering, and I was texting one of the best people I know, saying how I felt awkward just standing there and joked how I was all alone. Along with a knowing, happy emoji, she said to me, "You're never alone." This was a reminder of how we are all divinely loved, comforted, and intricately personally known. Joshua chapter 1, verse 5 through 6 says, "As I was with Moses, so I will be with thee. I will not fail thee, nor forsake thee. Be strong and of good courage." So here's your TF challenge, today through forever. Don't be discouraged when you feel secluded from others. Use each moment to become better and create your own opportunities for joy. Remember that you are meant to stand out, speak up, and be different. You are meant to be great, despite our society.